Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Ultimate Hardcore Iron Man Weapon Lock. Today we're going to train our stats up a little bit more just to get a sort of nice baseline for the future of the account. I'm not sure how many swords we're going to get in this episode, but just a quick reminder of what this episode or what this series is I'm basically locked as a hardcore Iron Man that is not allowed to bank. So I'm an ultimate hardcore Iron Man, and I am locked to 3 different weapon styles or weapon classes, which would be swords for melee, throwables for ranged, and wands for magic. So my end goal is to gather all of those weapon classes. So right now we're rocking the iron sword. We don't have any throwables quite yet, but we are going to maybe change that today. I'm not too sure. I do just want to get some nice leveling. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get up to level 50 fire making, just so that we have the access to Winter Tot in case we want to tackle that. And okay, so I did already get up to level 23 fire making. I was kind of just doing it while I was doing some other things before the episode started. So I'm at 23 fire making. We're starting this episode there. We've got 27 wood cutting. I'm just going to stay here at the oak trees until level 30. And then I might go find some willows, maybe do these willows down here. I'm not going to do forestry because I don't really have anything. Well, I guess I could do forestry, but I think I'm just going to stay here for a little bit anyways. But yeah, so I'm going to just chop these trees here, and yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do little updates here and there about the fire making level, or if I'm just going to go right to 50. It shouldn't take too long, maybe just an hour or two. But yeah, maybe the next clip you'll see is us at level 50. I lied to you. The next clip you're going to see is me claiming the magic, because I just wanted to show you guys that I'm just going to keep collecting these as I'm here. I've only got 90 right now because the last time I was playing, I was kind of just mindlessly doing some other stuff instead. But this time I'm going to focus on it. Every half hour I'm going to grab these mined air runes just so we can do Witch's House, like I said in the last episode, because we do have to survive some hits from some ice giants in order to do the Night Sword, which is what we want to do today. But in the meantime, I'm going to get this 50 fire making. And I also wanted to apologize for the last video. It was a little off-centered on my recording. It should be fixed now. I was recording another game that required me to kind of shrink the screen a little bit, and I forgot to change it back over to the right size for RuneScape, so I apologize for that, but it should be fixed from now on. We just got a bird's nest here, and it is a emerald ring, so I'm actually going to hold on to that because that will be a ring of dueling eventually. So I'm just going to pop it on my person, and I'll hold it there for the time being because that is going to be very good for teleporting around in the future when we can actually enchant it. And I guess while we're doing this, I can kind of talk about a couple ideas that I had for the future. So one of the big issues with the account is obviously storage space. So we obviously have the 28 items in our inventory that we can hold. Now the issue is with an Ultimate Iron Man, you can kind of use death mechanics in order to hold your items on the ground while you do things. Obviously we can't because we're a hardcore Iron Man. Now I have a major idea of what I can do for banking. So, well, for storage, I guess. So obviously the Chambers of Zarek has the storage units that you can use inside. And if you put stuff in the private storage, if you have a tiny unit, you can hold 25 items, I believe, which is going to be good for holding, gear and stuff like that while we're trying to progress the account, I guess, while we're trying to do some quests that we can't use gear for or have gear for. So I was planning on doing that for that stuff, but I also know that if you get a looting bag, you can't get stuff out of the looting bag unless you die or you go to a bank or you destroy the looting bag in the wilderness. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the looting bag mechanic of destroying it in the wilderness in order to basically double our inventory space. Obviously we're going to have to keep getting the looting bag back, and that's probably where Slayer will come in, because it's a little safer to get a looting bag note from Slayer Masters or a looting bag from Slayer Masters instead of going into the wilderness and killing creatures for it. I'm trying to get better at this whole talking into a mic to myself thing. It's very difficult for me to do because I'm a pretty like anxious person, I guess. Do you guys prefer if I just give you sort of updates, or would you rather me, talk about other games or some anecdotes that come to my head? Let me know in the comments what you guys think I should be doing, because like I said, I'm still new to this whole talking to myself thing. It's a little harder for me to do, but all of your tips and your input is always helpful for me. So please let me know, and I will try to accommodate as best as I can. And I guess for the moment, for the remainder of this episode, I'm going to try to kind of incorporate some stories or real life events that took place in my own world, just to kind of give that side, because I know last episode and the episode before, it was kind of just progress driven, and I feel like having some sort of anecdotes and stuff like that, just other things to talk about, or sort of like see the other side of things, could be nice for you guys. So I just started taking new medication for ADHD, and I've realized that this game is a lot less of a grind than I initially thought it was, because I feel more focused now. When I was before I was on medication, before I had an ADHD diagnosis, I found that it was difficult to continue doing this for long periods of time. So like wood cutting would get boring eventually, or agility would be really boring. But yesterday on my main account, I did approximately maybe 5 hours straight of agility, which is just absolutely unheard of when it comes to how my mind used to think, because I used to basically get bored doing things like that. I would have to do something else more engaging, like Slayer was engaging to me, but now it's nice to be able to do these skills that until recently I hated doing. And I guess because of my newfound sort of diagnosis of ADHD, I feel like I'm at this point where I kind of want to try to build a community that I guess brings each other up. So what I mean by that is I kind of want to, maybe in the future, I want to start a clan where we focus on, helping each other out, and focus on each other's mental health, because your mental health is very important. And the more you neglect it, the harder your life is. It's just as simple as that. And I didn't realize this until recently, where I started actually caring about my mental health. And, at the end of the day, get help when you need it, because it helps greatly. And so anyways, after talking about that, let's get back into some RuneScape content. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about the plans after we hit level 50 firemaking, just to kind of give a little bit of a roadmap, so to speak. So obviously we're on our way to making some money so that we can buy all the weapons from the Varrock sword shop, which includes everything up to adamant. Now the problem is we can't actually wield adamant, so I want to wait until level 30 before we can buy all those weapons, so that we can essentially go right up to the adamant sword and then dump everything else into the treasure case, which is the bank, and hopefully just go right from there. Basically buy everything all in one shot. So it'll probably knock about 10 to 12 items off of our list or something like that. Haven't looked into it too much, but that was the plan. I want to get this cash stack going up a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get the witch's house complete once we get enough runes to do it, and then we're going to head into the stronghold of security to get the money, the $10,000 that they offer. So after we do that, we're going to probably start the process of getting some ranged weapons out of the way, some throwables. So what we need for that is to complete the tourist trap quest, which will unlock the ability to make darts, and we can already craft the bronze dart tips. So we will craft the bronze dart tips. We'll just craft one set of those, make them, so that we can knock them off the list. And then by the time we finish Knight's Sword, we will be able to craft the iron dart tips. I don't think we can go to steel quite yet. I don't think we'll get to 34 from that quest. We might, but it'll be close. But nonetheless, we still need to get the iron ones, because we can only use the iron items at level 1. So I've also come to the realization that this throne section in the ranged is pretty much everything that we will be getting, I believe. There's a couple things missing, I think, but otherwise this is a really good section to focus on for the use of the account. I think there's a couple things here and there. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, this section right here, I didn't realize this was an actual section in the ranged one until recently. I wish I had known that when I was making the graphic for it, but nonetheless, that's what we'll probably be focusing on is this menu here. So basically, to summarize, we've got a couple quests to do. We've got to get to level 30 attack so that we can wield the adamant sword that's in the Varrock sword shop. We're going to go to the Stronghold of Security to get some money, and if we don't have enough money after that, we're going to make some money probably from fletching. We'll just fletch the best bows that we can until we have enough money to buy all the items from the Varrock shop. And then when it comes to the magic section, it's going to be a very long time until we can wield a staff or a wand. We got to get to 45 magic before we can wield any of our wands. So we're going to get to level 45 magic just from free casting anything that we can. In the meantime, doing some quests when we need to. I believe we can do Mage Arena. I don't know if I want to risk it or not, but we can do Mage Arena before then, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just check the requirements really quickly here. Mage Arena 1. Oh, we need level 60 magic. Okay, so we can't do that yet before that. So, but yeah, we'll work on getting our magic level up. Once we get our magic level up to a high enough level, then we will start Mage Training Arena. And once again, I apologize if I was rambling for the last little bit. I am still trying to get used to talking to myself here, so if I do ramble, I apologize. I'm going to try to cut down some of it in the editing process if it doesn't sound right. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep as much of it that makes sense as I can. And it's also been about probably a week since I played this account last, because I've been busy doing other things. I went camping over the weekend, which was really nice, just to get away from basically from the world and just you know, mind my own business in the middle of the woods. It was really refreshing, and the past week has also been pretty busy at work. So for a living, I'm a truck driver. I work for basically the film industry. I do deliveries for the film industry for movie sets and stuff like that. Just a little bit of a backstory for me of who I am. I work probably anywhere from 50 to 70 hours every single week. Some weeks are a bit heavier, some weeks are lighter. So whenever I get home from work and I feel up to recording, that's when I do it, because I like recording. I like doing this because it makes me feel like I am improving myself. So that's why I do this. I don't do it specifically for you guys, even though if you guys like the content, I really appreciate it. It's, you know, it makes me feel good about doing this. But I'm mainly doing this for myself because I want to better who I am, and this is a really good way to do it, because I'm kind of opening myself up to both editing, sort of the helping with the anxiety of kind of talking, because I don't really speak too much. I'm kind of a quiet person usually. So doing this in the comfort of my own home, letting you guys hear what I'm thinking is both causes both anxiety and excitement for me, because I'm like I said, I'm trying to better myself, and this is a good way to do it. We just got another bird's nest here. We're gonna pop it open and see if it's worth keeping. A willow seed. So that's level 30, I believe. That's level 30 farming. That's a far away right now, so I'm gonna drop it for the time being, because we're gonna get some from Wintertot anyways, and we don't need to keep that right now. It kind of sucks seeing that on the ground being a Iron Man, because I'm so used to the Ultimate Iron Man or the Hardcore Iron Man, where I can keep stuff like that, just like in an Ultimate Iron Man. You can keep that in your looting bag until you need it. But here, we don't have the looting bag right now, and inventory space is already tight as it is, and we can't just die or put it in like a death coffer, basically. So it's kind of difficult leaving it on the ground, but it's something we're going to have to do in this account a lot, so we better get used to it early. And also, I just wanted to bring up the fact that One kind commenter did mention that he thinks that the wiki considers the fang a sword. So I once again, I am going to attempt to reconstruct the graphic that I put up at the end of the video to properly illustrate what is considered a sword, a throwable, and a wand. I believe the wands is perfectly fine. The throwables, I think I missed a couple things. For example, the if I go to the throne section here, I missed the tonal sticks of Relos because I've never actually done that content before. And it just completely slipped my mind that they added those, and I also didn't add the Eclipse Atlatl either. So again, I don't know the toxic blowpipe or this if I'm going to actually consider them throwables. I think I probably will, but for the time being, we're going to leave those off. But I definitely need to add these tonal sticks of Relos, which is going to be a very difficult item to obtain because it is from the Colosseum. And I've never done the Colosseum before, so I'm probably going to have to practice it on my main a bunch before I hop into it on this. But it is a far away from where we are right now, so I don't have to worry about it right now. But otherwise, the swords that I forgot, I definitely did forget the fang, which would be definitely considered a sword in my books, but I think that might be the only one that I forgot. I'm just going to give a quick look here. The Emberlight, I think maybe is part of this as well, maybe even the Void Waker. But I'm going to double check to make sure what they're classified as before I go any further. It's just a couple things that I may have forgotten because they weren't on the sword or the longsword wiki, and those were the two wikis I was looking at, but definitely the fang is definitely a sword. But I'm just going to have to take a look at what else is a sword. So if I don't do it this episode with the graphic at the end, one of the graphics in the future I will definitely post will be updated. I'm going to be working on, I'm going to be adding it to my Excel spreadsheet that I have, but the graphic might not be updated yet, depending on how much time I have. And once again, I apologize if this is just a lot of information in this episode, but I wanted to ask your guys' advice as well. So last episode, I did a little time lapse for the questing, and I don't mind doing the time lapses, but I also like to kind of explain the stories of the quests a little bit. So this episode, when I do some questing, it's going to be a little bit of a different style instead of the time-lapsing. Because what I want to do is I basically want to make it fun to explain what's happening in the quest. So like, for example, for Romeo and Juliet, maybe I'd give it a little quick synopsis of maybe, you know, 2 lines of some dumb teenagers decide love is more important than anything else, basically. And you know, at the end, the you know, Romeo decides he doesn't like blondes and he likes redheads instead, you know, something like that. Just a little, obviously that was just come up with on the spot, but something a little funny, a little humorous to explain the story of the quest in, like, you know, 2 or 3 sentences or something like that. Maybe I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to do that in this episode. Let me know what you guys think about it, because I can do the time lapse. I have no issue doing that, but I also like to explain the story of the quests instead of just saying, oh, we completed these quests. And we just got everybody's favorite random event, the genie. Now, once again, I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be using these lamps on. I think I definitely am going to wait until we are done Druidic Ritual so that we can start lamping Herblore, because that is going to be a very important skill to level up. Because we do need some higher level skill level... Sorry, we do need some higher level potions made. Like for 38 for prayer potions is going to be very important, as well as some of these other the super strength potions and stuff like that are going to be very, very important later on. But for the time being, I don't know if I'm going to hold them in my inventory or not. I know that this one I can destroy and get back from Veos in Port Sarim, but for the time being, I'm just going to hold it just so that I don't have to worry about that in the future. But I might end up doing that. But this one here, we definitely have to hold for well, a while until we end up using it. Now, the only other skill that I'd be tempted to use it on would be prayer, because prayer is a very long process also on an Iron Man. So those are the 2 skills that I've been debating using it on. Everything else, I'm not worried about. Everything else is pretty trainable, so yeah, until I figure that out, I'm just going to leave them in my inventory. Okay, I think for the sake of my sanity, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get started on other things, just because right now I have a lot of time to focus. I'm going to get started on some other things, and I'll do the fire making probably between episodes, just so that I can get it done and not have to worry about anything. I don't need the 50 fire making, it's just something that I wanted to get going so that we can do Winter Tot for the future. So what we're going to go do is we're going to go hop over. We're going to drop this tinderbox and this axe for now because we don't need them. We're going to go hop to probably... I think we're going to go try to do Witch's house with... I can get another 30 runes with 150 casts of Wind Strike. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, but maybe I can always stop off and just buy some runes just to be safe before we head off, an extra 100 or something like that, just to be safe, so that make sure we have enough for Witch's house, because I want to get that one done, because that will give us a lot of hit points XP that will allow us to go ahead and get Night Sword done. And really quickly, I wanted to bring up the fact that this jail guard here, this is more for the hardcore Iron Man. This jail guard here is one of the biggest killers for hardcore Iron Man as well. I know one of my buddies died to that jail guard because he didn't know it was going to be aggressive for so long. So you just be careful if you're starting a new hardcore Iron Man, that you want to be careful about those jail guards, because they can hit pretty hard, and their aggression range is very high, as well as their kind of wander distance is very, very high as well. So anyways, we're going to go hop over to the magic shop here, and we're just going to go grab some more runes, and then I'm going to hop back to Lumbridge to grab those 30. I just needed to wait another couple minutes. So we're going to hop in here, we're going to grab maybe 100 of each. I know it's going to use our cash stack, but we can make the cash back pretty quick. So we're just going to grab one of these packs, the mine pack, and one of the air packs. So that's going to be 760 coins, which is okay. And then I'm going to hop back to Lumbridge just to grab another 30. Because we needed cheese from for the quest, I'm just at the Port Sarim food shop. I'm just buying some cheese, and then I decided, because I might need some food just in case I get hit, I'm gonna buy the potatoes that are here as well. I'm gonna hop worlds to grab a few of them, because I believe we can cook potatoes at very low. From what I remember, it's been a long time since I was doing this. So we can do it at level 7. So we just have to get the level 7 cooking really quick, which I can do from cooking the sardines from the fishing shop. So we're gonna grab just 3 more cooking levels really quick here, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do Witch's house. Sorry. And okay, there's level 7. We can now cook baked potatoes. So we're gonna go ahead and just finish up cooking the sardines that we bought. We just bought a few of them, and then we're gonna go ahead and bake these baked potatoes for our food. I'm not sure how much these sardines heal. I think it's only like 3, but I might keep them just as a backup to the ones that burn here, which looks like we're burning a fair amount. It looks like we're burning all of them. It's just my luck though. Yep, we burnt 5 out of 6. So I'm gonna go ahead and just buy a few more, and I'll keep these sardines as a bit of food, and then I'm just gonna go buy a couple more baked potatoes just to try cooking them. Hopefully we can get like maybe 2, maybe 3 more. And okay, we were able to cook a total of 4 baked potatoes, which should be enough, because I don't plan on really even taking damage. I plan on safe spotting them with magic here. But it's always good just to have a little backup when you're a hardcore Iron Man, and I'm probably going to keep some of this stuff on most of the time. I'm going to run from this highwayman really quick. So we're going to go up to Taverley just to do Witch's house really quick here. It shouldn't take too long. And then we're going to go ahead and finish Knight's Sword. Since we do still have the 4 iron bars, I just have to get a bronze pickaxe again, which I believe we can get over here if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere. I think there's a drop or something. Maybe it's down there. But yeah, I'm gonna go grab the bronze pickaxe really quick, and then we will be able to do the... Oh, it's right there. Yeah, it's on that crate right there. So maybe I'll run in there now just to grab that on the way, and then we can go ahead and do both quests back to back here. And like I said, this is going to be a little different of a sort of... Oh, am I going the wrong way here? I am. Okay. Yeah, like I said, this is going to be a little bit different of a like a little questing montage, I guess. It's not going to be really the same montage like I did last time. Like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be more of a theatrical, I guess, sort of explanation to how the quests are, just to give some information of what happens during the quest, because a lot of people just skip the dialogue, even though the dialogue is really funny to watch or to read. And Jagex put a lot of work into the dialogue to these quests, and I like to appreciate it. On my main, I've read every single dialogue for all the quests, so all of these Iron Men that I've created, I kind of skip all the dialogue now, but it's still nice on newer quests, and even the old ones, to go back and kind of remember what the quests are all about. So I went ahead and just started safe spotting the first witch's experiment in this corner here. It's the best place to do it for the smaller guys. So the first two experiments are good right here. The next, the third and the fourth, you have to go into this spot here because they are wider creatures. They don't fit in here. So for the first two, what you do is you stand on this square, and when it comes and attacks you from here, you step underneath it, and half the time it'll go over in this square, half the time it'll go over to this square. Once it gets over to this square, you just walk here and you can safe spot it over this smashed chair here. So super easy to get it safe spotted, and this one doesn't hit you very hard. The second one will spawn right here, so you don't have to do it again, as far as I remember at least. But the third and fourth, you'll have to move over to the spot that's highlighted right there. And basically at this point, I'm just hoping that 250 casts is enough. It should be. I don't see how we would have to go through more than that, but in case that's not, we can always go get some more runes, or even just do tourist trap and get the darts made so that we can start range training. It's I'd rather get the magic training so that we can actually get to a wand, but if we have to, we can always go get the darts. And okay, I was mistaken, it does spawn in the middle. So again, you just basically step here, walk underneath it. Sometimes it'll walk one of the three directions, and you basically want it to walk backwards, but you want to make sure that you don't die in the meantime. So I'm gonna just keep healing up here. So this is the hard part. So, oh shit, I had it there, but fucked it up. So there we go, he moved over. So these are the two hard ones because they'll actually hit us. The other two won't even hit us, so up until this point, we shouldn't need any more food now, but I am happy that I brought it because, like I said, it's always risky to do any quest on a hardcore Iron Man without food. I always try to keep something on me, whether it's just potatoes or sardines or whatever the case is. It's always nice to have something so that in the case where you are taking more damage than you should, you can always heal up. And there's the first one done, and once again you just go to this square here and they won't hit you because they can't make it here. Now the only issue of this is if you take too long to kill them, they will despawn. You have to take a very long time in order to do that. I don't think we'll take that long, but in the case we do, again, we can just restart, get some more runes, and all this was magic training, so it's not that big of a deal. At the end of the day, it's just it'll be a minor setback, but hopefully we'll be able to kill them both relatively quick. And I also know that my voice is very monotone. I'm actually working with somebody to fix that because I don't like my voice. I find that it is very boring to listen to, so I do apologize for that. But I am working with somebody to get better with that. But I did just start, so hopefully in the next few videos we'll see a little bit of progress because, like I said, I don't like my voice. I don't know, I can't imagine you guys do either. But in the case, in whatever case, I'm going to be working on it in the future, and the future videos should be a little better and a bit easier to listen to. And we're just on the fourth one here, and like I said, it stays safe spotted here. This is the hardest one to kill with magic because it does have a higher, I think it has a higher defense anyways, but it is higher level anyways, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Like I said, as long as we kill it quick, it shouldn't be any or pose any problems whatsoever. And okay, there we are finishing this quest here. So the next clip you're going to see is the quest completion as well as my little summary of the quest overall. So this little kid tells me he lost his ball, and like an idiot, I volunteered to help. Easy job, right? Nope. Turns out his ball is locked up in some witch's house, and she's got a shed full of nightmare fuel. I almost got mauled to death by her freak experiments. Also, Timmy can kick a ball around the yard. And okay, that got us to level 25 hit points, which is going to be good enough to be able to survive the ice giants in the Remington dungeon there. So I'm going to go ahead and hop down to Remington just to get the blue right ore, start the quest on the way down. And we do need a red berry pie. Now the best way to do that, I don't know, is probably level 10 cooking will make our own red berry pie. So we're going to go ahead and get level 10 cooking really quickly. And yeah, we're going to drop the stuff from the quest here because we don't need that clogging up our inventory. Don't need the cheese either. I'll keep the baked potato though. So yeah, like I said, we're going to go ahead and just get the stuff together for, where is it? For the knight's sword. Which, like I said, we need a red berry pie. We've got the iron bars and the pickaxe, and then the teleports or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just grab the stuff that we need for the quest. And like I said, we'll probably just get level 10 cooking really quickly just to get that out of the way, and then we're gonna hop over to probably Varrock to get the quest. But maybe we'll start the quest since we're here. I know we won't be able to get to the red berry pie yet, but we'll start it, and yeah, we should get some fair amount of smithing levels from this and be able to start the dart grind. Here we are making the blue right sword here. So we just got it, but that's unfortunately not ours. So we're going to drop it, and we're going to go ahead and make a new one here that is going to be ours. And there we go, there's our blue right sword. This is our new sword for training because I was curious on how well it works. It's probably less DPS than the iron sword too, truthfully, because it's slower, but it just looks really good. And with this training shield, it looks amazing. So we're going to use this for a little bit just to train. Like I said, we're probably going to chuck it in the bank very, very soon when we get our next upgrade, but let's use it for a little bit because I think it'll be fun. Some squire loses his master's super fancy sword, and of course, I'm the guy who has to fix it. Apparently, the only way to replace it is to mine rare blue rocks guarded by giants, who definitely didn't want me there. After bribing, begging, and nearly getting flattened, I finally hand over the goods, so the squire can pretend he never messed up in the first place. And okay, we just got to level 30 smithing, so that's a really good boost, and like I said, we can now comfortably make the iron dart tips. The steel ones are a little bit out of reach still, but they're just still not bad. It's only 4 levels away, so overall it's not too bad. So what we're going to go ahead and do is head over to the Alcarid Desert and start the tourist trap so that we can actually make it. But first, we have a little stop to make at our little treasure case. So we're going to hop over to the bank here to throw this iron sword. And if you guys are watching this video for the first time and you're realizing that, you know, we're an Ultimate Iron Man and we're not supposed to use banks, my bank is just used as a placeholder. It's a little bit of a treasure case to see what basically the items that we've achieved. Once they go in, they can never come out again. So we're going to go ahead and throw this iron sword in here, and it will never leave this bank ever again. So we've got the 5 swords so far, plus the blue right sword we have wielded, which is just insane. It's so good looking. But yeah, like I said, we're going to go head over to Alcarid to finally complete Tourist Trap. And okay, we're just heading over to the start of the Tourist Trap quest because we do have the 10 fletching and the 20 smithing we need to complete the quest. So we're just going to head over to start it. We're going to buy all the stuff we need from what's his face over here, Shanty. I think you can buy bronze bars there. So we're gonna hop over there and get that stuff going. It says we're recommended to have a knife and water skins. I am gonna buy those because we are a hardcore Iron Man. I don't want to risk dying. We're just gonna go ahead and get this quest done. And after a few attempts, I was finally able to get the safe spot where you put a mercenary in between you and the guard. This guard would probably kick my ass if I let him hit me. So we have to do this little safe spot. Hopefully it holds out for the time being. We'll see how it goes though. Okay, the safe spot there worked really well. So we just got the key for the fence here. Gonna have to unequip our combat gear. Don't know what's classified as combat gear, but we'll unequip all that stuff. I'm just gonna eat that and drop the pie dishes here. Okay. I went on a nice little desert tour and surprise, immediately got kidnapped by slave drivers. Next thing I know, I'm breaking into a camp, forging a disguise, and plotting an escape like some medieval prison movie. All this just so I can rescue a random girl and learn how to throw darts. Totally worth almost dying in the sand. And okay, now that we're a little safe from the desert heat there, so I decided to put the quest reward into both thieving and agility just to get us up to level 20 in each really quickly. I don't really usually like putting them into agility and thieving because they're super easy to train. I usually like to do smithing because it's a little bit more challenging on an Iron Man to train. But since our smithing is already at level 30, I figured getting a little jump in agility and thieving is always going to be nice. So I decided to put them in those for the quest reward. So next we're going to head over to the Stronghold of Security. We're probably going to fill our inventory with some food. We're going to drop some of this unnecessary stuff. And we did get our bronze darts for completing the quest there. So we've got 6 bronze darts, which knocks off one of the throwable items from our list. I think what I might actually do first is go do Druidic Ritual really quick. It's a really quick quest that we can get done, and we can get these lamps out of my inventory here. So we're going to just go ahead and get the meat needed for that, and then we're going to head over to complete this quest. There's 1 cow killed for 1 beef. There's 1 chicken killed for 1 raw chicken. 1 dunce random for 1 book of knowledge. 1 bear killed for 1 raw bear meat. And 1 rat killed for 1 raw rat meat. Now what I find interesting about this sword already is most swords are stabbing weapons, but I think this is a slashing sword, yeah. Because I was looking at the combat styles. I put it on lunge because it was the only stab option. The rest are slash. So this is a slashing sword, which is kind of wild because it definitely looks like it should be stabbing. So we're just going to head over to Taverley to finish up this quest and get Herblore unlocked, as well as these 3 items out of my inventory. I set out to help some druids with their sacred ritual. Sounds wholesome, right? Instead, I end up on a full-blown animal massacre, dunking raw meat in smurf juice like I'm catering for a cursed barbecue. The druids are thrilled, but honestly, I think I just helped them start a cult. And with that out of the way, now we can finally use our lamps here. So we want to use this lamp first because this is a set amount. This is 300 XP no matter what. So that will get us to level 6. Now these ones are based off of our level, so we want to be able to use them for higher XP. So we got 60 from that one, and we should get 90 from this one, getting us to level 7 Herblore right off the bat. And I freed up a few of our inventory spots, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get some food. I don't know what I'm going to get right now, but I'm going to get some food so that we can tackle the stronghold without having to worry about dying. I'm going to search around, look into the wiki and see what food we can get. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. I think to make some room, I'm going to drop this bronze pickaxe for now and the spade. We can always buy them back later. And I might actually drop the bronze darts because I don't think we're going to use them right now. And we can always make a bunch now later. We've already got them. As long as I don't put them in the bank, in our treasure chest of weapons, I can still use them. Like I said, if I put something in there, it's gone forever. So basically I'm going to use bronze darts, but I'm just going to drop them and we'll make the new ones because I haven't put them in the bank yet, the little storage chest. So until I put that in, we can still use bronze darts. Okay, so what I've decided on for food is I'm going to go to head over to Ardoin and get a full inventory of cakes. It's kind of the best thing to just get early on for some food. So I'm going to hop over there and steal some cakes. You just need level 5 thieving for that, and since we have 20 now, we're all good. So I'm going to go grab a full inventory of cakes, and I will see you at the Stronghold of Security. And okay, we're here at the Stronghold of Security, so I'm going to rip through these really quickly. I don't think I'm going to record anything. I'm definitely going to go do the first 3 floors. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the 4th one, because the 4th one doesn't matter because we are Ultimate Iron Men, and I guess they do have some probably better. The boots probably have better stats than the leather boots, but we'll see how it's looking for us by that point. So yeah, I'll be right back when we're either done the 3rd or the 4th floor. Okay, we went ahead and grabbed the 10k. I am gonna go down and grab the boots because I think they are better than the leather boots, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna go down and grab those really quickly. I'm probably gonna grab the rainbow ones just for the fashion, but yeah, I'll see you at the end of this this floor here. Okay, here we are grabbing the boots. I guess we might as well grab the fancier boots just because they're fancier, and they do have slightly better defensive stats, so we will pop those guys on. Oh wait, I didn't even have leather boots on. That's awkward. I thought I had leather boots on this whole time. So anyways, we're gonna now for the next part of the plan, we're going to train combat for a little bit, and we're not going to spend the 10k yet because, as I said, I want to get up to probably just a slightly higher attack level so that we can buy a bunch of swords and throw them into the little bank that we've got of the swords, and yeah, so we're gonna go trade in combat, but first I have a little pit stop that I'm gonna make, and I'm gonna explain why when we get there. And okay, here's our little pit stop. Now, many of you already know what this is. So this is the Natural History Museum. You take the quiz and you get 1,000 XP in Hunter and Slayer. So I already ran through it, so we're going to go ahead and really quickly accept that and get up to level 9 in both of those stats. So I'm a firm believer personally of only training combat really when you're doing Slayer. Obviously there's other circumstances where it's necessary, but I like to do Slayer while I train my combat. It's just my personal preference. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to do some Slayer. I'm going to probably just do Turiel because, you know, I'm kind of a low level. I don't even know if I have access to any of this Slayer Masters, but okay, we got a few of them. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do Turiel up in Berthorpe, and yeah, we're gonna go see what we get. Okay, our first task is 26 cows, so we're just gonna kill them, bury the bones. I don't think I'm gonna do anything with the cow hides quite yet. Maybe I'll pick them up and tan them and craft with them just to get some crafting levels. I haven't quite decided that yet, but 26 cows is gonna be decent XP nonetheless. And I think this is as good as a place as any to call this episode here. I know we didn't make too much progress yet again on the weapon list. However, we are set up nicely where next episode we should be able to knock off a bunch of weapons. So next episode we're going to tackle the Varrock sword shop finally and get every item from there that we can. And we're also going to start creating some of the throwables here, so we can actually hop into the bronze list here. We've got the dart tips, which we already got. We've got the throwing knives, as well as the iron dart tips and the iron throwing knives as well. Now, the steel dart tips we're still 4 levels away from, as we've mentioned before, so hopefully we can work our way towards that. But in the meantime, we can definitely start using or getting some of those earlier throwables out of the way. And we're still working towards our 45 magic requirement. So it's a little slow of a race, but eventually we will be able to use the wands. So once we get to level 45, that's when we're going to start busting out for these wands so that we can actually start auto casting spells. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the support. If you guys don't mind dropping a like, a comment, and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.